Hi everyone, Maria here from Poppy Citrus Crafts in Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I am going to be testing out whether I can sublimate on just regular acrylic Christmas ornaments I found at Kmart here in Australia. It says here to add your own designs and to just remove the protective film before use. So I am assuming that you can sublimate on acrylic, but I might be wrong. These are this is the blanks in question. There is 4 stars and 4 circles, so I'll just open it up for you to have a look. I'm very sorry I didn't make any videos the last few weeks. I had been sick for 2 of those weeks, so that makes it very difficult. Now, what's really cool is it comes with these gold strings there that you can use, and as I said, it comes with 4 acrylic stars and 4 round ornaments as well. So that's pretty cool. I found these quite cheaply. Now it says it has a protective film, so I'm going to use the star today. So I think that's quite cool. So I'll take one of those out, put the rest back in its packet. And what you'll need for this is some butcher paper, some sublimation paper. This is from Epson. I've got a ruler here because I want to measure how big the star is, and I've also got some heat tape, my Teflon sheet. Okay, so the size that I'm going to be using is an A6 size piece of sublimation paper. Because this is just the 1 star, I'm not going to waste a whole sheet. So that's what I'm going to print on with my printer. At the moment, it's doing a head clean. Oh, I just think it just finished, so not a problem. Once we do the design, we will get to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my blank. So from this star down, you're looking at roughly, that's about 3 inches. But from this side to this side, it is 3.5 inches. Okay, and so I want to concentrate my design to be around the middle. So we're looking at around 1.5 inches all up. Okay, so what we will do is I'm going to take you to the computer and we will design what we're going to put on this star. And then after that, we will go to the printer, and then I will show you the heating process. And you will need a heat press. So today I'll be using my Cricut Easy Press. And yeah, so you will see the whole process. So I'll see you again shortly at the computer. Okay, so I'm now in my Silhouette Studio Business Edition software. And as I mentioned before, we did measure that star. So what I want to have is a circle. So I'm just going to grab a circle here. And we said that's about 3.5 inches. So I'm just going to do one roughly that size. I'm going to press that arrow, otherwise I will keep making circles. So I'm just going to click on that. I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to go over to my measurements here, and I'm going to unlock that aspect there. So I'm going to go 3.5, and then this one is going, I said 3.5. 0.5, and then this one is going to be as well 3.5, and I'll press enter, and now it is in proportion at 3.5 inches circle. Whilst that's highlighted, I'm going to right click duplicate, and I'm going to put one other circle here on the side, but I don't want it to be 3.5 inches. I want it to be 1.5. So I can just put 1.5 and it'll go down to 1.5 inches. So what I'm going to do here now is put that 1.5 inch circle within the 3.5 inch circle. I'm going to highlight both of them. I'm going to go into Object, Align, and then Center. And this will center up that middle circle. So whilst that's all highlighted, I'm going to right click my mouse and press Group. So now this is all in that one space. So what I want to do is when I click, I want to click that again too, is I want to say bring to front. The reason being is I want to fill these spaces with a pattern. So what I'm going to do is go to my library, and I'm going to go into user designs, and I want to import to this library. Now there is another way of doing this. So I might go import to library, and I've got my file here of my digital papers that I've downloaded from Creative Fabrica. There's one here that has polka dots, branches, all sorts of really cool stuff, different colours, but I wanted to use something a little bit more on the traditional side. So I'm going to use this one here that has the trees. So I'm going to click on that and press OK. And that is now going into my library. And I think it's in there now. So it's now into my library. So what I'm going to do is put it into patterns. So I'm going to move this across to patterns. So it's in the patterns section. So what I'm going to do now is go back to my design. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go into my fill pattern here, and that's the patterns there. I'm going to go into the fill patterns, and I'll look for my pattern. And there it is. I've just recently uploaded that to here. So I'm going to click on that, and it's all on there. Now, you'll see a really cool thing here. This area here has the pattern filled to the same proportions as the size. So the 3.5 has a slightly larger pattern, and the inside has a smaller pattern. But I do want to make the smaller pattern. I'm going to ungroup that. And for that small pattern fill there, I'm going to scale it up to be the same as the background as much as I can, not too much bigger. So I'm just gauging from there. Okay. Don't forget, this is a template. So I'm just going to remove, go backwards, sorry. This is just as a guide. Okay. So what I want to do in this pattern, in that pattern there area, is I want to write a sentiment. So I downloaded a really cool a font from Creative Fabrica as well called Candy Christmas. And I just want to bring that up. Oh, there it is. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to press, and I'll just put Merry Christmas. Type that up. Okay, and I'm going to click on that and make sure that it is black, because I want to make sure that whatever image I put fits in within that 1.5 inch area. So I'm just going to do that again because I think it's out of alignment, and we'll make sure it goes into the center, and it's fine there. Okay, make the line style clear, and then I'm just going to increase the magnification so we can see what we're doing. And I'll say bring to front, increase the magnification again. Okay. And with this Merry Christmas, what I want to do as well, whilst it's here, is I want to press that and make it go down the line. Sorry for all the noise around here. And then I'm going to make that in the middle. Okay, that's perfect. So now I'm going to go into there and make sure it's within that 1.5 inch circle area. So whatever graphics we put in there, we make sure it's within that range there. So then what we can do is remove that circle, make sure it's there. And then with the letters, I'm going to do an outline, an offset, make it go down. Press apply. And I'm going to have that filled white. And then I'm going to do another offset again. And I'm going to have that filled black. And then the lines, you will not see the lines when this is printed out. So what I want to do now is just group everything together. So I'll say group. I've highlighted everything. That includes my Merry Christmas and all of that background there. And then I'm going to flip horizontally so it's back to front. That way that when I print this out, it allows me to sublimate. So we'll go out again, zoom out. Whoops, a bit too much. Going to move this up here, and then what I want to do with the paper, because it's so large, is I'm going to change it to A6. So this can be changed to whatever you like, and then I'll just put that here in the middle. And what we will do next is we're going to print this out on my sublimation printer, and then we will sublimate it. So I'll see you again shortly. Okay, so here is my Epson printer. And it's the Shore-Color F160. It's a dedicated printer for sublimation. So what I'm going to use is high definition with the general purpose rigid setting, and I'm now going to print this off. So now that has finished printing, this is what that looks like. I'm going to take you over to my crafting desk, and then we will put this baby together. So I'll see you again shortly. So here is the print up close and personal. Love the colours. It is muted because it is sublimation print. So what I'm going to do now is there's a protective film. I'm going to attempt to remove it. I've just got to find where this is, and I don't have very strong nails, but I will attempt it. There it is. So that's the protective film on one side. And I think I'll get rid of it on the other side as well. So bear with me because I've got very small nails. Okay, so this is clear. If you can see that, I didn't realize it was full on clear, but it makes lining up your image there very, very simple. So we'll see how this works out. We may have to paint on the other side, but let's just check this out and see how that is. And I'm going to center that design onto there like so. And I think that looks pretty good. So I'll grab some heat tape. Going to tape this down, make sure it doesn't move. And I'll put the heat tape on. Okay. Now we have some butcher paper. What we're going to do is we're going to sandwich it in like so. And then we are also going to do the same with the heat press. And I've just got to make sure that when I put the heat press on it, we have it the right way. So this is how it will be with my heat press. So I'll take you over to the heat press and we'll get started. Got my Cricut Easy Press. I'm just going to set the timer to 60 seconds. And I've got it up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to set it to 60 seconds and hope for the best. Oops, I went up a bit too far. I went down too far. So we will wait for this to heat up. Underneath my heat press, I've got my Cricut heat pad. So I'll just wait for this to heat up. And then once that beeps, we will get started with the heating process. So it's just beeped now to 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 60 seconds. So I'm just going to push this now to the front here. I've got my heat mat ready to go. And now I'm just going to bring my setup here. So I've got my Teflon sheet, top and bottom. I've got some butcher paper. There's my blank. Put the butcher paper on top to absorb the blowout. And let's hope for the best that this works out. This does not say if you can sublimate or not, but we're going to try it out. It's an experiment. So now I'm going to put my giant heat press over the top here for 60 seconds. So it's going to stop now. Cool. Always wear heat gloves. If I didn't mention that before, I'm going to turn that off. Now, let's see if this worked out. Oh, that's a good sign. But guess what? The blank itself could not handle it. It's actually melted. Can you see that? So this is a big fail. So if you get these sublimation blanks, we'll let this cool down and it's all bubbled. So if you ever get these blanks, don't use this particular kind for sublimation, because right now it is a big giant fail. Okay, so we'll let this cool down and then we'll see how it works out in a minute. So I am back now on my desk. It has cooled down a little. I'll take off my gloves actually. Now, big fail. So I thought I'd try this out so you don't have to see if it actually works. So I'll take this off. Just to let you know, it does bend and the paper really sticks on to this acrylic. It also bends, so check that out, it bends, and this has cracked off. So I do not recommend that you use these ornaments to sublimate on. It was fun experimenting though. But we'll see if in the end the image did transfer on. Maybe we can tweak, I don't know, the settings a little. And then we've got this really stuck on. So what I might do is go under some water and just clean that off, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so what I've done is I went to my sink and I washed off the paper that had kind of come onto it. Sorry, it just sort of, yeah, it was just stuck on the top, but it does come off with water. In saying this, it has not been a complete failure, and I'll tell you why. If you are careful, don't snap, you know, your ornament like I did. This was cheap as anything. I think it was like $3 or something, really cheap, or $4. So for me, not a big deal. But you do have to tweak the settings to make sure that you sublimate at the right temperature. And as you can see, this really bubbled, so it was quite hot. So I will have to tweak the settings and come back to you. However, in saying that, it did sublimate onto the ornament. And even though it bubbled, it gave like a really cool effect in a weird way. I mean, we can glue this back on again with some super glue or something like that. But I don't think it was a complete failure, but it was in the sense that it has bubbled and the ornament itself kind of bent. So if you can see that, it's got like a curve to it now. And it has bubbled, so that is a failure in that sense. However, in terms of whether the image transfers on, it actually does, and I did, you know, wipe this down with some water and I rubbed it, or I rubbed off all the paper and everything, and it still sublimated on, and I think it looks really cool even though it bubbled. Aren't I weird like that? But hey, it's not too bad. But yeah, you'll have to tweak the settings. So 400 degrees Fahrenheit is way too strong for this. I'm going to research a little more, because I found other websites where they said 60 seconds at 400 degrees Fahrenheit to sublimate on acrylic, but I think it's on a better quality blank than this cheapy one that I found at Kmart or even the dollar store if you're overseas. I would say they're not a good candidate for it. However, how cool is that? And I'll put it up against white, and there you go. And you can paint the back of it if you want to, or leave it clear. And that's how that looks. So, I hope you enjoyed my failed attempt at sublimating a video. An ornament. It does actually sublimate on, but you do have to tweak the temperature so it's not so hot and maybe not so long as well. So we'll have to experiment a bit more with that. I'll get back to you at a later date and to see what my findings are, and I'll experiment again, and then I'll do an update video on this process. So I thought it was quite fun even though it failed. Anyway guys, take care and I'll see you again next time. Bye.